So I've been spending a lot of time with Light of Motiram lately. And honestly, I think it's worth talking about because this game has really surprised me in a lot of ways. When I first heard about it, I'll be real with you, I was a bit skeptical. Another open world survival game? We've seen so many of these, right? But there's something about Motoram that just grabbed me and hasn't let go. The premise is actually really fascinating. You're in this post-human world, which immediately sets a different tone than your typical survival game. Humanity is gone. We're talking about a civilization that has completely vanished, and what's left behind is this weird blend of nature reclaiming everything and these mechanical creatures that just roam around. It's hauntingly beautiful in a way that I wasn't expecting. When you first load into the game and you see these vast landscapes stretching out before you, there's this immediate sense of wonder mixed with loneliness. You feel small, and that's intentional. What really hooked me early on was just how diverse the world feels. You've got frozen tundras where the wind is constantly howling and visibility drops to almost nothing during blizzards. Then you can travel to these scorching deserts where the heat becomes an actual survival mechanic you need to worry about. There are lush forests, mysterious ruins that are half buried in vegetation, and these incredible dynamic weather systems that actually change how you play. I remember one time I was out gathering resources in what seemed like a calm afternoon, and suddenly this massive storm rolled in. I'm talking lightning strikes that were hitting close enough that I could see mechanical creatures getting stunned by them. Rain so heavy I could barely see where I was going, and I had to scramble to find shelter. It's those moments that make the world feel alive and unpredictable. Now let's talk about the survival mechanics, because this is where the game really shows its depth. It's not just about having a health bar and occasionally eating something. You're managing hunger, thirst, and energy levels constantly. The energy system is particularly interesting because it ties into everything you do. Sprinting drains it, climbing drains it, fighting drains it, and if you let it get too low, you're sluggish and vulnerable. I learned that the hard way when I tried to take on a group of hostile Mechanimals while exhausted. Spoiler alert, it didn't go well for me. The resource gathering and crafting system is pretty extensive. You're constantly picking up materials from the environment, whether it's wood, stone, metal scraps from ancient machinery, or these rare crystalline materials that you find in specific biomes. The crafting itself feels satisfying because there's this real sense of progression. You start with basic stone tools and simple weapons, but as you explore more and discover blueprints, you unlock better gear. I'm talking advanced armor sets, powerful weapons, and these really cool gadgets that help with exploration. There's this grappling hook you can craft that completely changes how you navigate the world, and once I got it, I felt like I could finally reach all those places I'd been eyeing from a distance. The building system deserves its own section because it's genuinely impressive. When they say you can create everything from simple shelters to complex automated bases, they're not exaggerating. I started with just a basic wooden hut to keep the rain off my head and store my stuff, but as I gathered more materials and unlocked more blueprints, I started expanding. You can build multi-story fortresses with defensive walls, automated turrets, resource processors that handle crafting for you, and even these beautiful decorative elements if you're into that sort of thing. The building controls are surprisingly intuitive too. It's not overly complicated, but there's enough depth that creative players can really go wild with their designs. I've seen some community creations online that are just mind-blowing, like entire villages or these massive industrial complexes. But here's where Motoram really sets itself apart from other survival games: the Mechanimals. These mechanical creatures are everywhere, and they're not just enemies or obstacles, they're central to the entire experience. Each one has its own design that's this incredible fusion of animal characteristics and machinery. You've got wolf-like Mechanimals that hunt in packs, massive elephant-sized ones that can demolish structures, bird Mechanimals that patrol the skies, and even aquatic ones in the water areas. The attention to detail in their designs is something I really appreciate. You can see gears turning, pistons moving, and these glowing energy cores that pulse with light. What makes them truly special is the taming system. You can actually tame these creatures and make them your companions. The process isn't just clicking a button either. You need to weaken them first, without destroying them completely, then use specific items to begin the taming process. Different Mechanimals require different approaches. Some are more aggressive and harder to tame, while others are relatively docile if you approach them correctly. Once you've tamed one, the real fun begins, because you can customize and upgrade them with parts you find or craft. Want your wolf Mechanimal to be faster? Install better leg components. Need more firepower? Add weapon systems. Want it to carry more resources? upgrade its storage capacity. It's this whole meta game within the game that adds so much depth. I've built up a small army of Mechanimals at this point, and they're genuinely useful. Some I use for exploration because they're fast and can cover ground quickly. Others are combat-focused and help me take down hostile creatures or defend my base. And then I have a few that are purely for resource gathering because they can harvest materials way more efficiently than I can manually. Watching them work while I focus on other tasks is incredibly satisfying. Now, the graphics. Let me tell you, this game is gorgeous. The art direction is phenomenal. They've managed to create this visual style that feels both grounded and fantastical at the same time. The environments are richly detailed with incredible draw distances that let you see far into the horizon. The lighting is particularly impressive, especially during sunrise and sunset when the sky turns these amazing colors and everything is bathed in warm or cool tones. The weather effects I mentioned earlier, they look as good as they feel gameplay-wise. Rain looks wet and heavy, snow accumulates on surfaces realistically, and dust storms in the desert create this oppressive atmosphere that's genuinely unsettling. The mechanical creatures themselves are visual masterpieces. Each one feels unique and purposefully designed. You can tell the developers put real thought into how these things would move, how they'd function, and how they'd look from every angle. The animations are smooth and natural despite these being mechanical beings. When a large Mechanimal charges at you, you feel the weight and power of it. The particle effects when they're damaged or using abilities are also really well done without being overly flashy or distracting. Performance-wise, I've been playing on a mid-range PC and it runs surprisingly well. Sure, there are occasional frame drops in really intense moments when there's a lot happening on screen, but nothing game-breaking. The optimization seems solid for a free-to-play title, which honestly surprised me given how good everything looks. Speaking of free-to-play, let's address that because I know it's a concern for a lot of people. Yes, Light of Motiram is free-to-play, and yes, there are microtransactions. However, from my experience so far, it doesn't feel pay-to-win, which is crucial. The things you can buy are mostly cosmetic items, like different skins for your character, decorative building pieces, or custom appearances for your Mechanimals. There are some convenience items like resource boosters or additional storage space, but you can earn premium currency through gameplay as well, just slower. I've been playing entirely free, and I've never felt like I was hitting a paywall or being punished for not spending money. The progression feels fair and achievable without opening your wallet. The cooperative multiplayer is where this game really shines for me personally. You can team up with friends or join other players to explore together, tackle challenging content, or build massive combined bases. The way they've implemented co-op feels natural and not tacked on. When you're playing with others, resources are shared appropriately. Combat feels balanced for multiple players, and the difficulty scales so things don't become too easy with a full group. I've had some incredible moments playing with friends, like the time we coordinated our Mechanimals to take down this absolutely massive boss creature that was guarding a rare blueprint. The teamwork required and the celebration afterward when we finally beat it was genuinely memorable. Base building becomes even more fun in co-op because you can collaborate on designs and create things that would take forever solo. My group has this ongoing project where we're building this fortified town, and everyone's contributing different sections. It's become this social hub where we all meet up, show off our new Mechanimals, trade resources, and plan our next adventures. The game also has this mystery element woven throughout that I find compelling. As you explore, you discover fragments of the story about what happened to humanity, why these Mechanimals exist, and what Motiram actually is. It's not handed to you in cutscenes or exposition dumps. You piece it together through environmental storytelling, found documents, ancient recordings, and these mysterious structures you encounter. I won't spoil anything, but there's definitely more going on than just survival for survival's sake. There's a bigger narrative here that keeps me curious and wanting to explore every corner of the map. The sound design deserves mention too. The ambient sounds of each biome are incredibly atmospheric. The way the wind sounds different in the tundra versus the desert, the mechanical whirring and clicking of the Mechanimals as they move around, the satisfying chunk of your tools hitting resources, all of it adds to the immersion. The music is understated but effective, swelling during combat encounters or when you discover something significant, but mostly letting the environmental sounds take center stage. One thing I really appreciate is how the game respects your time in certain ways while still being challenging. Fast travel points exist once you've discovered them, so you're not constantly running across the entire map for the 100th time. Your Mechanimals can be summoned from anywhere once tamed, so you don't have to physically go retrieve them. Storage is interconnected if you build the right structures, so you're not constantly shuffling items between containers. These quality of life features make the game less tedious while maintaining the survival challenge. Are there issues? Of course, no game is perfect. I've encountered some bugs here and there, nothing major, but occasional weird physics moments or AI doing something strange. The tutorial could be a bit more comprehensive for some of the deeper systems. And while the world is huge and beautiful, I do sometimes wish there were more varied activities or encounters to keep things fresh after many hours of play. But these are relatively minor complaints in the grand scheme of things. What keeps me coming back is that core gameplay loop of exploring, surviving, building, and collecting Mechanimals just feels so satisfying. There's always something to work towards, whether it's a new blueprint you want to find, a rare Mechanimal you want to tame, or that next upgrade for your base. The game strikes this nice balance between giving you freedom to play how you want while providing enough structure and goals to keep you motivated. If you're into survival games, open-world exploration, or games with deep crafting and building systems, I genuinely think Light of Motiram is worth checking out. The fact that it's free means there's really no barrier to at least trying it and seeing if it clicks with you. Just be prepared to lose hours without realizing it, because once you get into that flow state of gathering, crafting, building, and taming, time just evaporates. I've had multiple sessions where I told myself I'd play for an hour, and suddenly it's 4 hours later and I'm still discovering new things or working on my base. The community around the game is also growing and seems pretty positive so far, which is always a good sign. People are sharing builds, tips for taming difficult Mechanimals, location guides for rare resources, and just generally being helpful. That collaborative spirit extends into the game itself with the co-op elements, and it creates this nice atmosphere around the whole experience. So yeah, that's Light of Motiram. It's this ambitious, open-world survival game set in a beautiful post-human world filled with mechanical creatures, deep building systems, and genuine mystery to uncover. It's free, it looks great, it plays well, and most importantly, it's actually fun. Whether you tackle it solo and create your own legend in this strange world, or team up with friends for a cooperative adventure, there's a lot here to sink your teeth into. I'm genuinely excited to see where the developers take it from here and what new content and features they add over time. If you've been on the fence about trying it, I'd say go for it. Download it, jump in, and see if this unique blend of survival, building, and mechanical creature taming resonates with you the way it has with me.